we are going to make homemade bread, all right? I don't think it's like a sourdough bread, but it kind of looks like one. I don't know. I'm not a baker, but I have made this before and it is a hit and it is really simple. The longest part about this is that you have to let this dough sit for like 8 to 24 hours. So I'm actually going to assemble this the day before, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll bake it. So all you're gonna need, and I will type this out, if you guys follow Kristen Casper, she was, you know, a YouTuber. I don't think she has anything up anymore, but she did this last year and like it kind of went like crazy on the internet. I don't think it's her recipe, but nonetheless, that's where I got it from. So what you're going to need is some flour. I got unbleached all-purpose flour. I don't know, it just said flour, so that's what I got. This was on sale. Got that, and then you need some salt, which is salt shakers over there, and you need some cool water and some yeast, and that's it, okay? So you're going to need 1 3/4 cup of cool water. You're going to need 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 3.5 cups of flour. You're going to mix them and I'll show you. So let's go ahead and get this done and I'll get it all in a bowl and then I'll be right back to show you what you're gonna do. So with this, you have to mix it until it's saggy. It's not soggy, saggy. It says mix until saggy, scraping bowl but once. So you just kind of gotta go like this. And then you're only gonna wanna scrape your bowl one time. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've done this before and I scrape my bowl a lot of times. But also, I'm not a bread maker, but I try to do these things because I feel like homemade bread on a cool day with like a fresh bowl of soup will hit the spot. So that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be that mom. So I'm gonna tell you, it gets a little like this, you know, like where it gets like sticky and stuff. That's normal. Just keep working with it. Oh, you see, I was already gonna scrape the bowl. See, I don't follow anybody's rules. I'm a rebel. I'm not sticking my hand to this.
You just scraped the bowl.
Shh, Rhea. They didn't notice. I just...
Oh.
Rhea, that's not scraping the bowl. Scraping the bowl is like this.
It's so funny. I keep on seeing you want to do it, and you go. Look at the corner.
What are you trying to do?
I'm mixing it until it's saggy.
No, see all the flour down there?
But I feel like it needs a little bit more water. See? A little bit? A little sprinkle? A little sprinkle? We'll just get a little bit. Just put a little bit more. Here, just let it go.
There you go. Stop.
If you need more water, just add it. It's your world, honey.
It's your bread, people.
Our dough, you're gonna leave it, top it with like a little something. I'm just gonna throw a little sink towel over it and let it sit on the counter. We'll see you in the morning. So we're gonna get started on our soup. All you're gonna need is a crock pot right here. I always keep my crock pot on a cutting board. I'm always afraid it's gonna get hot and it's gonna burn up my countertop. And if you've been here for a minute, honey, it took us a while to get this kitchen looking good. So what we're going to use, we're gonna do chicken noodle soup. So I'm gonna cook mine on high, so it'll be ready within like 4 to 5 hours. But if you wanted to put it on before you like went to work or whatever, you could do that and leave it on low for 6 to 8, okay? So I have some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. This is about 2.5 pounds. I'm gonna throw this in the crock pot and just put it on the bottom. So I am adding a little bit more meat. I'm gonna leave a recipe linked down below, but I wanted to add a little bit more meat because my family likes a lot of like chicken in their chicken noodle soup. We're also going to do some baby carrots. I'm just gonna cut up this whole bag because the fam likes it, and I'm just going to add them to the top of my crock pot, as you guys can see. So into the crock pot, I'm gonna chop up some carrots, an onion, oh shoot, take that out of there, and some celery. So we have our chicken on the bottom. We have a whole white onion, a bunch of celery, and then the bag of baby carrots. Everything is diced up. Even the little carrots are diced up, all good. You can add whatever veggies. I really like to add like spinach or kale or something like that in there as well to give it a little bit more of like the superfoods. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna omit that. but we're gonna add in some chicken broth. This is the fat-free. I usually get the low sodium, but they don't have it. I would recommend doing chicken bone broth. That way you can get those added benefits of the bone broth, but mine was like not on sale at the grocery store this week and I was not paying that. So we're gonna add both of those into here. This is a really great like dump and go crock pot recipe. The reason why, well, first off, it's officially fall now. And you know, it's Spooky Saturdays. And we actually are going to be out for like right after school. Becky has her first like cheerleading event today. So we're all going. And I was like, you know what? Let's have some. And it's chilly today. I think our high today is only 60 and it's windy. So it'll be a nice thing to come home to, you know, some homemade chicken noodle soup. And then we'll have the fresh bread as well. So what we're gonna add in next, we added 2 canisters of the broth. I'm gonna take a shower right now. I'm still in my gym clothes. Sorry guys, but this is the benefit, right, of having a crock pot meal is it looks like you were like cooking all day, but really you just kind of chopped up a couple things, tossed it in the crock pot and went about your day. So I'm gonna add in some chicken bouillon. I love Knorr chicken bouillon. You can do better than bouillon. You can do whatever you want. This is just what I prefer. I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon. Always, you could always go back and add more, okay? So remember that before you add in too much, like especially with the bouillon, I always tend to go back and add like a little bit more, just because if you add too much bouillon initially, I mean, you could add more water, but I feel like it just really ruins the meal because it's gonna be so salty. So, and don't forget, you're gonna get some good chicken flavor as well from the chicken breast that's gonna be cooking in here. So I'm just kind of taking a spoon and kind of just, you know, mixing it up a little bit. And then here is our seasoning, okay? I did it fancy like this. Let me know if you guys prefer. But we have, I'll leave the measurements down below, but we have thyme, rosemary, parsley, garlic, and a bay leaf. And it's gonna be chilly all weekend, so I figure we could have like soup and sandwiches for lunch. Today's Friday when we're having this, so I figure we could have soup and sandwiches tomorrow, which will be Saturday. Salt. Just a little bit. Again, I don't wanna do too much. Pepper. Top it with our lid. Anyways, we'll see you in 2 hours. We'll let this chicken noodle soup go. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and then take a shower and I'll be back. So we are going to start on our bread. And what you're gonna need is one of these. This is like a cast iron Dutch oven. And you're gonna need some parchment paper. And then remember last night, here is our dough. Look at that, beautiful. So we're gonna leave the dough out for a minute. What we're actually going to want to do is you're going to want to preheat your oven at 450 degrees and actually put your Dutch oven in there for about a half an hour to 45 minutes to warm it up. You have to do that step. You have to warm up your pot. So I still have some cleaning to do. I just jumped out of the shower, but I wanted to go ahead and start preheating the pot and getting that ready so we could start working with our dough. So 450 degrees, there's your Dutch oven in there. If you guys did not have one, this isn't like one of those bougie ones. This is this Brandani, I guess. I got it from Home Goods. This is another one of my birthday gifts to myself. I always wanted one of those, like, what is it, what is it called? Something with a C. That expensive one, but those are a couple $100. This was $40. And I swear to you, anything I make in here always comes out delicious. So I definitely recommend getting yourself one of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the oven at 450 degrees for about 30 to 45 minutes. Let this pot get nice and warm. So here is our dough, and we're gonna start getting it ready. I've got my flour right here. And let's stir it to kind of punch it down, you know? Gotta do like this. Too bad Ray is not here to tell us everything we're doing wrong, am I right? All right, I'm just kind of moving it on the bowl here. You know what I'll do? Let's move the flour closer. Okay. And we're gonna do like that. And then we're gonna sprinkle some flour on our surface. I don't know if that's a lot, if that's too much, I don't know. But I think we need more. I'll clean it up. It's all good. Okay, just do a little. I just want to let you know also, guys, this whole baking bread thing is a new thing for me. I wasn't raised, my mom, we needed bread, my mom bought it. Or I remember one time she had like this bread kick, and she bought a bread maker from Value City, if you guys remember when that used to be a store. All right, so we got the bread, and then we're going to take it out of the bowl. Kind of make sure your hands are clean also, because that's gross. But I'm just kind of sifting so to get it unstuck. It's my sister. Their Rhea's senior pictures came in, and I've been sending the proofs out. And then you're gonna want to make sure that it comes out on a floured surface, because you know it's tacky. Scratch my face. And then we're gonna start working with our bread, okay? I'm sure I'm not doing something right, but I will say this bread is very forgiving. And it's very like beginner friendly, or if you're not much of a baker, this is a good thing for you to try out with, because it is like kind of, you can't really mess it up is what I'm trying to say. But I will say this, if you could mess it up, you better believe I will be the one to mess it up. But I will say I made this a couple times last year, and my family loved it. And I like was making all different kinds. I made like cinnamon raisin bread for my family. So they all liked it. I bet if you had a gluten allergy, you could probably get gluten flour, gluten-free flour, you know, and use that. Give that a try. We don't have it, so we really don't have a need to do that. Okay, so I just kind of roll it out to where it's like kind of like this circle, right? And then you're gonna take your parchment paper. So our oven's gonna preheat, you know, like I said, for about a half an hour. And then you're gonna wanna let this sit for a half an hour on the counter, okay? So you throw it on your parchment paper, and you're gonna pick it up and you're gonna put it down seam side down, okay? And what I like to do is I'm gonna take a little knife and I'll score it, right? So you'll do like that. I actually like watching the people on TikTok, and they'll do like the little like cuts in it to make it look like a flower. Put your bread in. Be very careful, because the pot is obviously going to be hot. Okay, just like that. You just dump it in. Super simple. You're going to take your lid, put your lid on. Now you're going to put this into the oven at 450 degrees for about 30 minutes. Then at 30-minute mark, you're going to come back, take off the lid, and put it in for another 10 to 15 so it gets a nice brown crust. All right, so you just grab your parchment paper. And boom. I'll leave this whole recipe like down below, but I want you guys, I'm gonna bring you guys down. Hold on. I wonder if you can hear. You know, actually, let me bring it to you. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Ooh, hot, never mind. I'm gonna bring it to you. I just got my finger. Ready? A nice and crunchy, nice crust. Let it cool and then cut into it, obviously, but beautiful. I would say this, if you're planning on making this, guys, I didn't do this. I wish I would have. I might do it tonight. Make a couple batches of the dough, since you have to let it sit for a few hours, so that way you could just bake everything all at once, and then like once this comes out, you can throw a whole other one in. But nonetheless, so easy, so good. And again, if you're trying to like maybe be on a budget or be more, you know, in the know of what you're eating, this is, you know, a nice little way to do it. And my family absolutely loves it. Remember? Could hear it. And I just want to show you, like, look at how light and airy. Hey Leo, I'm cutting into the bread. Would you like a piece? Yeah. But you could see, look at how light and airy. You can see all the air pockets. Got a nice little bounce to it. So I am going to remove the chicken from the crock pot, and I am going to start shredding it. Now, I do the old school fork method, but you could run it through like a hand mixer or a stand mixer and shred it that way. But I'm not cleaning all that, and I'm not looking for all the bits and bobs. I'm just gonna fork shred it, but you could do what you want to do. But nonetheless, it's been about 10, 12, it's been about 3-4 hours since I put this on. It smells so amazing in here. But it's gonna smell so good in your house too. I promise you, you gotta do this. So you guys will see this on Saturday. Go to the store right now, get your ingredients, make this tomorrow for Sunday. You got the football, get some coziness, maybe watch some spooky movies, maybe tune into that new Dahmer series. I haven't watched it, but I heard it's crazy. So, so good. This broth, I tasted a little bit. Scrumptious. All right, so chicken is shredded. I put that in there, and I also went through and picked out the bay leaf. And now I'm going to add in these egg noodles that I'm spilling all over the counter. But I literally spilled them all over the counter. But toss those in there. Anyways, just gonna go through and then I'm gonna add them. Because this is gonna be like, we like ours. You know what? I'm a soup person. I grew up on soups. My father-in-law, same thing. Like, we love a good soup. But like, in order for my family to eat it and like to be like full from it, it has to be like a thick, hearty soup. So that's why we're, you know, adding so much chicken and noodles and stuff like that. So give them a little bit of heartiness. I just made sure everything was covered. And then you're gonna throw your lid back on for about 10-15 minutes and let those noodles cook up in the broth and go from there. Now, if you had to add a little bit more liquid, you could do that. But like I said, with us, we like, you guys, I wasn't even in shot that whole time. But nonetheless, if you guys wanted to add in more liquid, you could. But with us, we like it to be more hearty. I'm gonna be honest with you, for Leo and the kids, it has to be more hearty. For me, I could eat broth all day long. I don't know, anybody else? Like, I love a good soup. Like, I love a good broth. I think a broth changes a game. They don't appreciate a good broth the way I do. Anyways, 10 minutes, let your noodles cook. All right, so I added the noodles. They cooked for about 15 minutes. Now I just turned it down to warm, so the food will stay warm, obviously. And I'm gonna start serving this up. Leo, I had to stop him from eating the bread because they love that bread so much. They'll eat the whole thing, like, real quick. So I was like, look, that's enough. That's a side. That's not the meal. But I just want to give you, like, look at how thick, hold on. Like, you could see, nice and thick, hearty soup, noodles. We have some veggie in there. Again, if I would have tossed in, like, more vegetables, spinach or kale, I always like to do that. You could add broccoli, cauliflower, like whatever you want to do. I just kept it simple, just to kind of keep it like a traditional chicken noodle soup. And like I said, it's barely 60 degrees outside today. So when it's like overcast, it's really beautiful outside. And then I just add a little bit of broth because, again, they're not broth people. Where that was like my favorite. Let me know down below if that was your favorite as well. But here is that homemade chicken noodle soup. Dump and go, throw it in the crock pot and go about your day. Enjoy your life. Make that bread. Honestly, the only thing about it is you have to give the bread some time to rise, minimum 8 hours. I'm gonna leave all the directions down below. You guys can do this. Let me know down below. If you are, tag me in all your social medias. I have all my social medias linked down below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Spooky Saturdays, and I'll see you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoy and stay warm and cozy.